Good evening, parents and students. Welcome to Literacy First Charter School. This is government class with Mr. Kasberg. And let me share my screen with you. We're going to kind of go through a slideshow this evening. There we go. All right, so yeah, welcome to government and welcome seniors, your senior year. It's a very exciting time for each and every one of you, and we have such a great course that we are going to take a look at this year, the government course. So before we get into that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am Mr. Kasberg and my wonderful wife Krista. We really enjoy traveling and getting outside. This is up in the local mountains, just the Sierra Nevadas, a couple hours from here. There's a place called Rock Creek. We also like to travel up to Washington. This summer we actually went to Florida. So we love to travel and get outside and hike and do all kinds of fun stuff. We have two children. We have two boys. Blake over here in the red shirt, he's 24 this year, and Nolan over here in the blue shirt, 18, just graduated from high school. So I have definitely been in your shoes. I understand having children going through their senior year. I understand at times senioritis and all those sort of fun things. With the two boys, I feel like I've gone through it all. One of the boys doesn't work as hard. The other one was a super stellar student. And so I definitely understand many aspects of being a parent of a senior and going through the senior year and all the dances and all the different things. And my younger son just went through COVID. So he graduated under COVID. So I understand all of those aspects of from a parent side and from a teacher side. So any questions with anything, please, I've definitely been in your shoes and I understand it. I also have one more boy at home. He's a good dog. His name is Brock, and he's our pup dog. He's a good guy. I am into going camping and fishing and hiking. I really enjoy the outdoors, but I also am very passionate about pottery. I teach ceramics here at the high school. I've been doing ceramics since I was actually in high school. So it's one of my passions as well. And if I'm not doing ceramics, I'm not in the classroom, I'm not up in the mountains, I tend to do spend a lot of time in my backyard gardening and just playing with my pond, and spend a lot of time in my backyard hanging out. So a little bit more about government. This year we're going to be using this textbook, Government Alive, Power, Politics, and You. I really do, it sounds silly, but I really do believe TCI's curriculum is an amazing curriculum. It really brings it alive. There's a lot of activities that we do that really, truly bring this government class alive. So first chapter, we've already studied chapter 1 and chapter 2. We're actually kind of going through chapter 3 and 4 this week. Chapter 1 was, do we need a government? Do we not need a government? And as a class, we kind of agreed, yeah, we need a government. And so then chapter 2 is, well, what kind of governments are out there? And I had the students try to imagine if it was 1775 and we're just about to declare our independence, what kind of government would we choose? So we studied multiple governments, and not all of us, but many of us chose that the representative democracy that we have in the United States is probably the best, even though some of us may have wanted to make some changes here and there to our current system, but we, for the most part, agreed that some form of democracy and the representative democracy is the best. So this week, chapter 3 is all about what is a democracy? Where did the roots of democracy start? Where did all of this come from? How did we come up with this idea in the time of kings and queens and monarchs and breaking away from a king? Did we come up with this big idea of a democracy and power to the people and all that sort of fun stuff? So that's what we're going to be studying this week and next week. And then chapter 4, we get into the Constitution. So we've created this government. We had the Articles of Confederation fail miserably, and now we're digging into this new union, this better union that we have established as our government under a constitution. So what is the Constitution? What does it provide? What does it do? And from there we get into like the Bill of Rights and political parties and platforms and all kinds of fun stuff. And we're going to end the semester with the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch, the 3 branches of government. So we really take an in-depth look at government Right around middle of January, we'll take our final, and we'll move into economics for second semester, which is just as good of a class. And we do use TCI as well for that. So really good class as well, economics second semester. We've got a great year planned out for us. So if you need to contact me or find out what's going on with this class, you can always go to Google Classroom, which is where you got this video. We do have a website, so I do keep my website updated as well, and I have it kind of broken down by the week. Usually I have a couple of weeks planned out on my website. This is what we're doing this week, and then next week, and the week after. So you can always go to my website. There's all the numbers and dots and things and letters for my website. Easier way is just to go to the Literacy First Charter School website and navigate through there, and you can find my website. It's a pretty easy way to go for it. Please feel free anytime to email me, chris.kasberg@lfcsinc.org. It's always first name, last name. So feel free to definitely email me with any questions, parents or students. I tend to respond fairly quickly, definitely within 24 hours, I'll respond back to you and answer hopefully any questions that you may have. All right, grades. Grades this year are broken down in these 5 categories. Basic everyday assignments will be 20%. Tests are 35%, so we're taking pretty much 1 test every 2 weeks. The tests, and I think I talked about this on another slide, but I'll briefly talk about it here. Tests are really broken down 2 chapters at a time this year. So because we are in class for a week and then at home for a week, we are reading while we're at home those 2 chapters, and then we're really going over the material in depth throughout the week when we are in class. And then on that Friday, we'll Zoom for 20-30 minutes and then take the test after the Zoom. So tests are 35% of the grade. Final, we will take a final at the end of the semester. It is 20% of your grade, 20% of your grade. That's a huge percentage. And then, like, I don't know if I talked about it or not, participation. So that is when we are not in class that week. They will have some questions. Sometimes, usually with me, it is read the chapter and just kind of answer the essential question. So a couple of sentences or a paragraph on the essential question for the chapter. Let's see here, the projects. We do 1 project each semester. So this semester's project is already posted. It's on Google Classroom. Feel free to ask your student about it. It is all about the presidential election. And so they have been asked to go to a website called isidewith.com, and it will really lay out there's a bunch of questions in there. They answer the questions based on how they feel about the current issues. And the website lays out for them who they really side with and who they agree with. So it's a pretty fun class as we kind of dig through this presidential project, as we dig through our government and how our government works. We have some pretty good debates and some pretty good discussions. I work hard to not let my personal feelings or my political feelings come out. They might see a glimpse of them here and there, but I work hard to argue both sides of the aisle, if you will. I feel it's important for me to do so as we talk about this presidential project. Students can hand in assignments multiple ways, so they can work in a notebook and then just take a picture of it and add it to Google Classroom. The Google Classroom will have all the assignments on there, and they will upload their assignments. And again, they can do it either through Google Docs, or they can write on a piece of paper, or they can write it in a notebook and just upload the picture to Google Classroom. I feel either way, whatever works best for the student works fine for me. It doesn't bother me however the student wants to hand it in. If we were not in COVID, we do work in notebooks the whole time. And I collect the notebooks usually at the end of a chapter or at the end of a unit. A unit might be a couple of chapters, and I grade the notebooks that way. So yeah, assessments, like I said earlier, this year, especially with COVID, we're taking a test every 2 chapters. So last week, they took a test on chapter 1 and 2. The next Friday, not this coming Friday, but next Friday, they will take a test on chapter 3 and 4. So when they are in my class for the week, at the end of that week, they will take the chapter or 2 chapter test. I kind of talked about the first semester project, who you're going to vote for. And the bigger reason that we're doing this project, and I've done it many, many times, is I want my students to know why they're voting for somebody. I don't really care who they're voting for. I just want your students, your children, should know why they are voting for someone, not just because you as the parent said so, or maybe their friends, or maybe just social media says to vote for this person or that person, but why do they want to? What issues do they agree with them on? What platforms? What are the different things? And why is your child choosing to vote for this person? And like I said, it doesn't really matter to me which direction they're voting. I just want them to know why. And I feel that's very important in politics today, in our government and our lives today, that the students have a bigger understanding of who's voting and why they're voting for those people. At this point, if we were sitting in the classroom, I would ask you if you have any questions. Please, please, please feel free to email me at any time or get in contact with me any way you can. If you need to show up at school and have a conversation with me, we can set up an appointment for that as well. But please feel free, if you have any questions about this semester or how your student is doing, you can always go online and check your student's grades, and you can check it through Google Classroom. But feel free to, at any time, ask me any questions. With that, thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And like I said, I hope you have a great day, great weekend. Take care.